Hey everyone, I want to take a look at graphing this linear equation. To graph any linear equation we have to find ordered pairs. 2 is all we really need, and we plot those ordered pairs, the xy ordered pairs, on a graph. But how we locate those 2 ordered pairs is always the dilemma. When the equation is solved for y, like this one is, then a convenient approach to take is to just plug in any x value you want and solve it for y. And the reason we can plug in any x value we want to is that when we plug that in and solve for it, we're going to get the y value that goes with that x. Sure, each x value is going to have a different y value, and it doesn't matter which x, y values we find. We just got to find 2 of them that are going to be on the graph. So always start with x equals 0. There's no reason not to do that because it's a convenient one to use. If x is 0, then 3/4 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Now for our second x value, you might be tempted to plug in 1, which isn't the end of the world, but we would not get rid of this fraction, and really want to get rid of this fraction. So let's plug in 4, because that gets rid of our fraction. Look what happens. 3/4 times x, so now x is 4, minus 4. Remember, this is 4 over 1, so this is really 3/4 times 4 over 1 minus 4. So the 4's cancel. So if the 4's cancel, then we're left with 3 minus 4, which is a negative 1. Now, just to make sure we didn't mess up somewhere, let's take another value and plug it in. Let's say we plug in, and don't be afraid of negative 4. So we're going to get 3 over 4 times a negative 4, and let's go ahead and write it as negative 4 over 1 since we're dealing with the fraction here. Now this time the 4's cancel like before, but there's still a negative there. So what we're going to have is actually 3 times a negative 1, which is negative 3. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7. Now we only need to take 2 of those ordered pairs over to the graphing tool in MyMathLab. Which 2 you take doesn't really matter. I was going to suggest though, if you want to check your work by plotting your 3 ordered pairs to make sure they all 3 line up, it's probably not a bad idea to have some graph paper handy, because if you try to do it without these grids, you probably wouldn't really tell if you made a mistake anyway. So let's see real quickly. 0, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is this point. My little grids are pretty small. 4, negative 1. X is 4. Y is negative 1. And then the last one is negative 4, negative 7. Now, actually, this may not fit on my graph. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, now these look like they're all lined up. So I feel pretty confident that I didn't make any mistakes. Now you won't have to graph this by hand. Let me show you how you do this in MyMathLab. So the points that I'm going to plot, and remember, it doesn't matter which of these we plot. I'm going to have to plot 0, negative 4, and then I'll do 4, negative 1. 0, negative 4, 4, negative 1. So let's march over to the graphing tool in MyMathLab. The first thing you ought to do is go ahead and click on that magnifier so you get a bigger picture. Then you're going to click this graphing tool. I'm sorry, not the graphing. You've already picked the graphing tool. I mean the line tool, because you can graph different kinds of graphs here. We're only going to worry about the line tool. Now you can pick where you want your ordered pair to be just by moving the mouse around. And look up here in the upper right hand corner. You'll always know where you are by looking up there if you're not sure, or if you're trying to do a fractional amount, which you should never have to do as long as you pick your x values carefully. Our first point was 0, negative 4, so I'll just click that point. The second point was 4, negative 1, which is that point. Again, look in the upper right hand corner. You can verify you're at the right spot. Once you get the second dot down there, MyMathLab just automatically draws the graph. Then you hit save, and then you hit check answer, and keep your fingers crossed. You get the old pat on the back. So that's how you do it. You find 2 ordered pairs by plugging in any x value you want. Once you've got the 2 ordered pairs, then go to the graphing tool and plot them.